What's up, guys? Welcome back to Morning Thoughts. I'm your host, Deke. With me is Josh, and Mac is on vacation, that little son of a gun. What's up, Josh?
Bears hibernate in the fall, not in the spring. There's no excuse. Take your vacations, never. Thoughts from the bench, 24/7.
It's not even a hibernation, too, because I think he was already hibernating. This is him coming out of hibernation and, easing into the Bear workload.
And getting lost in the woods.
Yes, very much so.
All right. Well, GPS, it exists.
Naturally. Josh, what are we talking about today?
Man, we have a pretty dynamic rundown. We're going to talk a little bit of football. We're going to talk a little bit of baseball. We're going to talk of the European football. I got a cool little story for you, and AEW has a new world heavyweight champion. So that's what we're going to get into.
Works for me.
So obviously first up, last week on the bench.
Yeah, we found out last night that Greg Malik had no idea when the video game tournament was this weekend. We basically were like, Alex got 2 kegs for tomorrow for the FIFA tournament and the Smash tournament. And Greg goes, wow, you guys drink a lot at 8 a.m. And I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, the tournament, it's tomorrow. What do you mean? What do I mean? I was like, what gave you the idea? It's at 8 a.m., dude. He was like, I don't know. And just kept saying, I don't know, for 2 minutes straight.
Oh, you made him mad. You broke him.
Very mad.
Oh, no.
But my thing was Greg, how many people have you told it's at 8 a.m.? I was like, everyone on camera,
poor Gil's down there, hungover. He's standing out in line right now.
Yeah, I was like, dude, why would we have a video game tournament at 8 a.m.? And he's like, I don't know. And
I also thought it was on a Friday at 8 a.m.?
No, so he knew it was Saturday.
Oh, okay, all right. Because that's even better. You have to take off work to go to this video game tournament.
Jeez. So there's that. Hodo being back is an interesting endeavor. I mean, I'll believe it when I see it with them. I like the addition of Brooksy, but Dre's a freaking wild card. But a couple good blogs. I mean, I'll have my mock draft drop today, more as says yesterday. So,
why? This will be your third mock draft article. Austin, I feel was doing them even during the season. Why?
So these are the official ones. Apparently, you don't read them.
No, because there's been 17 of them
false.
Per person.
There's been 2 for me and Austin, and 1 for Dre, Brooksy, Ben.
Okay, you just named 7 people at once, so that's what I feel.
You said 17 per person.
I feel there's still 17 of them.
You said per person.
That's true. I did say per person, but that's how I feel right now.
Well, it's because we're going to get together for the draft, and there's going to be a competition to see who's most correct.
Oh, cool.
But it's also because no one else seems to be writing for the bench, so I'll just give Austin the free range to do what he wants at that point.
I don't think everyone's ready for that.
Yeah, well. No, it's just fun. Just something to do. Everyone else is doing it. Makes sense. There's no correct mock draft, so the ability to make 20 of them just is perfect because there's always going to be something that is terribly wrong or a trade or something.
Okay. All right. Well, was there anything else that really tickled your fancy? I thought Idiot Hour this week was really good.
Idiot Hour was really good, yeah. Idiot Hour was awesome. I enjoyed the Harry Potter episode a lot.
I've been getting everyone sending me their, and I'm sure you have too, their what they are, what house they are, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so. Colorado kind of blew me away with his Black Mamba. I was like, bullshit, but
then he actually was. But knowing what little I know about Colorado, that kind of all checks out anyway.
It makes sense.
The guy does not flinch.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. I'll still take a Pine Martin any day of the week.
True. So this isn't even on the rundown. I just saw this when I jumped onto the website. Derrik, Memphis is only 11 hours away.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if we did not go for Tim Howard's debut, I would never live myself down.
So Tim Howard plays the Riverhounds
I
soon.
know, in
Okay.
May.
Yeah, I just didn't know if you saw Denny's article because that is one game that I'm assuming the whole world is going to try to go to.
We should buy
Um,
season tickets now. Is that what you're saying?
for one game.
A lot of people do that for the Pitt Penn State games, right?
Oh yeah,
At Pitt Stadium, they'll buy them for the one game.
yeah. I mean, it's not a bad idea. I don't know when season tickets even go on sale for the Hounds, but I'll be trying to go to that game.
They're on now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I mean, you're like, there's no way Tim Howard be any good. Then you're like, well, it is Tim fucking Howard.
Yeah, I fully believe he'll still be good. And the reason is that goalkeepers can be ancient and still be good.
True. Plus, it's the USL.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not going to be like, what was that, 2010 World Cup good. But
yeah, I mean, the dude played for Manchester United and Everton. You know, he World Cups. I think he'll be fine.
Okay.
He's just too good.
It's very exciting.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. And he owns the team. It's a cool little out of retirement story. We'll see what happens with it.
Yeah. Do you think we can force Kevin Kerr to play an extra season now then for the Hounds?
We would have to sell Kevin Kerr the team, I believe, is how that works. So I'm going to say no.
All right, moving on. Zion versus Luka. Derrik, basketball me.
Dude, it was absolutely absurd. I mean, you're looking at the future of the league. So you have the Mavericks versus the Pelicans. Zion has been, and I keep trying to tell people this, like, John Morant was good. Zion is the rookie of the year. And I get that he missed the time, and we've talked about this, but dude, Zion Williamson is the most ready pro I've seen since LeBron. Dude has put up, like, I think 5 straight games of 20-plus points. Like, his defense needs a lot of work, but he's also a kid. Like, he's a kid that is destroying grown men, and his defense needs some work. And that's fine. But you have him versus Luka, who is arguably the best player under 26 in the entire world. Luka Doncic is very James Harden-like. He can create a shot from any situation. He just obviously has much better passing ability. So they went to triple overtime. And for me, it just proves that the league is in, like, really, really good hands right now. Because between the two of them, and then you have Jason Tatum, you do have John Morant, you have Ben Simmons. These are all guys that are 25 or younger. And it's absurd to think how many of them are producing right now. But that game was, I mean, triple overtime between two guys that are the face of the NBA is never a bad thing.
So a couple of things that I think are really interesting about this. One, are the Mavericks ever going to be bad? Like, they were just competing for championships 5 years ago, and now they've already retooled completely and they're pushing for the playoffs again. Like, what
it's
the hell?
like they have down years, but the benefit is that Mark Cuban's willing to spend some money where it's needed, and I mean, there's limitations to that, but the upside is that they hit on certain players. The Mavs, took a chance on him. They traded Trae Young for him, essentially. And you add that with the fact that they will trade for a guy like Kristaps Porzingis that not many other teams want. They're just a solid team, man. They're one of those teams that are very, they're 38 and 25, but they're one of the teams that are very always in the mix. In some years, they're much better than others.
Jalen Rose said that some teams should be worried if they have to play the Mavericks in the first round.
Oh yeah, I mean, Luka's the real deal, dude. It's extremely impressive to see him because it was a big question mark coming over, and he had even said that he thought the NBA was easy compared to other leagues he played in. Dude is a phenom, and I love him.
I think what I liked about the stat line, at least that I saw, is that Luka at least seems to be an all-around player because he had like 15 assists that night and also like 7 rebounds. I mean, that's a guy that's playing everywhere. 10
assists, 17 rebounds, 30 points in 41 minutes was a ballpark. But the nice thing there is that it's not just, big assists, it's big rebounds, it's big points, it's a lot of stuff.
That's awesome. And Zion, I don't know, man, like I'm very happy that I was wrong and that most of us were wrong. But like what's the ceiling for this kid? Is it literally best player to ever play the game?
No. And that's sad to just throw out.
Right.
But for me, his ceiling is, MVP is a ceiling. He'll be the best of a generation, arguably. Like, he's coming in, he's athletic. His stat line was 35 minutes, 21 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. So you want to be able to see him improve his game defensively because he can be locked down. But the big benefit is he is explosive. Like, I don't think he can stop on an alley-oop. Like, you can't stop him driving to the lane. It's explosiveness that we've seen from guys like LeBron James. So he's up in that conversation. It's just he has a lot more to work on than other guys did coming into the league. So and by other guys, I'm talking about the most elite guys ever, so not just like random dudes.
So we're talking like Kevin Garnett? Like
As his ceiling of talent or his ceiling
was like hands down one of the best players of that generation, but not necessarily like, oh my God, Michael Jordan, LeBron-esque.
It'll be interesting. It's how he develops his game. It's if he stays in shape. It's a lot of things, but I can say now that he's definitely never going to be anywhere near the bust conversation just because of his scoring ability alone. So yeah, I mean, I think that's fine. It's one of those guys that like, he was unbelievable this time. Do you put him up there with the GOAT conversation? No. But he was great, and he got some rings.
Cool. All right. Let's talk about Yelich signing back with the Milwaukee Brewers.
Yeah, so an extension for $188 million.
Oh, fuck. We're poor.
Well, so is he compared to Mike Trout, who got like $400 million, which is so crazy to me. But
I just literally dumped water all over myself.
Nice.
Morning thoughts are wet.
No, it's interesting because he gets that $188 million extension. I believe it was for, I think it was for 7 years.
Yeah,
7 years.
7 was what I was reading, but it hasn't officially come in yet. It comes in today.
And I wrote a blog about how this impacts different franchises and different situations. And the thing is that it teaches you a few things. Like, one, the Milwaukee Brewers are a small market team. They have the market size of the Pittsburgh Pirates. So, maybe you hit on just trading for a guy that works out, but they're also willing to retain talent, which is something that not a lot of small market teams like the A's, the Pirates are willing to do, which is because you got to pay them. But, that entire fan base was saying sign the guy because they wanted, to keep him around, to go see him play. He gives them the best chance of winning. So they did. They signed him to an extension, and it also proves that guys in small market teams will stay. They don't have to jump ship for the most money if the situation is correct. If guys are comfortable at the pro level and you're offering them $200 million, which is more than enough of an extension based off the last contract they had, not everyone needs to break the barrier, which I think will be a huge thing for the quarterback position. I think it'll be a huge thing for individual positions throughout sports. Main reason, because in quarterbacks right now, it's like, oh, he was good. Well, he's not getting the top money, and everyone wants that top money. I think it'll bring in a guy like, Dak's not going to get that top contract. But what Yelich has proven is that, hey, guys, the right situation is very important in sports.
So literally what hockey's been doing since the dawn of time.
Basically.
I love it. I think it's Yelich getting that contract is what the Pirates should have done for McCutchen all those years ago.
So they did give McCutchen his extension, and I will say
it was a nice extension, but then like when it came time to sign a new deal, like they just basically refused to even think about signing him because of the money.
Yeah, it's McCutchen is the end of his years here. I'm glad they got rid of him. Mainly because they weren't going to 100%. And he's not the player that Christian Yelich is. I'll say that straight up. So it's true. I'm glad they got rid of Kutch. I wish they would have got rid of him sooner. Reason being, he would have been able to help a team a little bit more to get a ring because he deserves to win a championship. Am I happy they got rid of Kutch? No. But I'm happy for Kutch because I knew they weren't going to pay him his money. So it's just – and the Pirates just received their second grievance for underpaying from the league. So we'll see what happens there. Yeah.
Oh, Mark Cuban's checkbook is just like on fire right now because they're like, no, Mark, you can't buy another team. You can't buy another team, Mark.
Yeah, I wish he would, but he really has kind of cut ties with Pittsburgh in a weird, like not cut ties, I guess, but there's just no way that he's actually going to, so we'll see. But yeah, it was like 14 hours ago, MLB PA has initiated a second grievance against the Pirates for lack of spending.
It's never gonna. It's an empty threat. absolutely an empty threat.
If it's the Players Association, that's different than the league, though.
Still, what are they going to do? You know what I mean? Like, what Players Association actually? Well,
NBA. I mean, NFL with the new CBA, but that's pretty much it. And NFL's really isn't that great. But NBA's Players Association is amazing.
Yeah. And that's kind of an interesting topic, but we're not going to get into that today about the new CBA. But could it be that Bill Belichick will finally get
Jill Belichick
will finally get the man that he wanted all along by trading Tom Brady for Jimmy G?
Yeah, so it's interesting because I don't think that Tom would re-sign to be traded, so they'd have to franchise tag him, but I don't think he's able to be – no, he's not able to be franchise tagged. So they would have to hope that the 49ers sign Tom Brady and then are willing to ship Jimmy G just to New England. It's this real finicky rumor that's come out. Basically, and I said it to Greg last night, I was like, look, dude, like, the 49ers are the Patriots, just better right now. They have a stud tight end. They have a decent offensive line. They have a makeshift running back core. They have a secondary that's good. They have a solid front seven, and they just play very unselfish football. So if you get 2 more seasons of an NFL Super Bowl caliber team out of this team, who's going to give you the best chance to win, Tom Brady or Jimmy Garoppolo?
Tom Brady.
That's the thought process coming out with this rumor. Do I believe it? Absolutely not. Jimmy G was, and I do like Jimmy G. He was okay. I mean, he threw for almost 4,000 yards, 27 touchdowns last year at a decent QBR. What up, Broadwick? Does he have a blanket on too?
Yeah. It's his blanket.
I figured. But the other side of that is that Belichick would get his guy back in Jimmy G. And I think he saw in Jimmy Garoppolo the opportunity to have a Tom Brady for the next 10, 15 years as opposed to the next 4.
Right. What if somebody misheard what they thought they heard, and it's actually Bill Belichick getting traded to the 49ers?
For Shanny. I mean, Belichick with that 49ers team, I don't know if they would give up a point.
I don't think so. Not with that defense.
No. It would be absolutely insane.
No. I don't know. I really like the idea of Jimmy G, like, scoring son returning. You know what I mean? And, like, the old guy, like, you know, it's very much, like, literally, like, what happened when they traded Jimmy G was that Uncle Scar, a.k.a. Robert Kraft, like, staged a stampede that accidentally almost killed Jimmy G, but instead killed, I don't know,
Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah, I was like, how about Jacoby Brissett? Because he did not. He didn't go where he wanted to. And then now he's coming back to Pride Rock, a.k.a. Gillette Stadium, and he's going to raise the championship. I'm all about it.
There's something there.
I just, in sports altogether, I would love it. So just go ahead and, like, empty the tank, get it all out, call Chip if you need to. Liverpool has finally lost a football game.
Yeah, and it all comes down to a 10-year-old's letter.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think the funniest thing about the situation is that someone asked Virgil van Dijk, like, basically, what does it feel like to only have a shot at the Premier League now? And he was, like, virtually disgusted. He was saying, you're telling me that the goal that I've wanted this entire season is only our goal. Like, come on. So there's 2 ways that Liverpool can lose the title, and it's basically some magic run that they lose other games, or if the coronavirus hits and it's to shut down the league, because then the league would be void. I'm glad they lost the game because I just am. I think it's hysterical. And I think it keeps that Manchester United team that won the trip in elite status.
It definitely keeps them in elite status, but I think every single Liverpool fan in the country, in the world rather, is like, oh no. No.
Yeah.
There's no way they do this again. There's no way we lose.
What's the table looking like?
They're 4 points back. Manchester City's 4 points back. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly
that face. It's like,
wait, this is saying Liverpool has 79, Man City has 57.
No, that's not right. I just looked at it last night.
All right, take a look.
Oh, I messed up. I was thinking, I looked at goals for, which is not.
So they're 22 points up.
3 points, and with how many matches remaining is the real question. I think it's still possible, right? But we would have to lose out, and Man City would have to win out.
There's 10 matches remaining.
Okay. So there's still 30 points on the board.
So it could happen, but there would have to be the worst form ever.
Yeah. Or it could, they could lose 9 of those 10, and Championship Sunday could be a real thing.
I would love that. I would adore that, actually.
Because there's only 22 points difference with 30 left on the board.
Yep.
Man, I don't like that.
And if you look at City's schedule, because I think they have 11.
They even have an extra game in hand?
I think because it said Liverpool 28, City 27.
So they have the Manchester Derby on Sunday.
This Sunday, yeah.
And Arsenal, Chelsea.
They got Burnley in there, so that's a win. Chelsea win, Newcastle win, Chelsea win. Liverpool.
They have to play Liverpool.
Southampton win, Newcastle win, Brighton win, Bournemouth win, Watford win, Norwich City win. So City could win out after this Sunday when they lose to Manchester United.
So let's hang on a second. Let me realistically look at this for 30 seconds. So 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 losable games, which is exactly the amount that they can have and still make up those 22 points.
Yeah.
But they can't let Liverpool beat them. Man,
it'll be interesting.
Scary.
It'll be interesting.
I'm concerned. I am concerned.
I would be.
For those of you that don't know, Liverpool has famously lost the league. I think if this happened, it would be the 3rd time where they led at Christmas, which is generally a good indicator as to who's going to win the league, where they had led at Christmas and somehow managed to lose it in the last month of the Premier League schedule.
Just because it's Liverpool.
Proverbial tryhards. All right. So do you know the name Pat Spencer?
No.
Okay. So Pat Spencer is a point guard at Northwestern, excuse me. This kid was playing Division I lacrosse last year.
Okay.
Not just like some scrub. Like, he was the best player in Division I lacrosse last year. And now is the starting point guard at Northwestern as a graduate transfer.
Interesting.
Trying to remember where he played. I'm looking at this article right now.
How good is he?
Like, leading Northwestern in points.
Huh.
Now, anyone will tell you, any Big Ten fan will tell you that Northwestern's not exactly like, the cream of the crop by any stretch.
Yeah, I was going to say.
But still, a guy that was he played at Loyola for lacrosse. But a guy that had not played organized basketball since his senior year. Bless you.
Thank you.
Is the best player on a legitimate D1 program.
Athletes, man. Lacrosse is a tough sport, so if you can be alive there. But it's interesting to see, like, he's actually holding his own against other teams now, I see.
Yeah. Like, he can dunk. he's like all about it. Like, I mean, this is it's incredible to me.
It's actually a really good story.
It really is.
Damn.
Like I'm trying to even think of like this is movie quality, right? Like it's got to be.
Oh, absolutely.
Like this random guy who just, oh yeah, I play lacrosse. Like you can see the beginning of the movie. It's at least a Disney original. Probably not a theatrical release, but a Disney original.
Well, especially with the PLL, I wonder if he doesn't find success, would he try that? It's interesting why he would make that leap.
Well, I mean, he was the best player in Division One. Like he won Player of the League while he was at Loyola.
Yeah.
So if he wants to be in the PLL, he can. But wouldn't you want to see if you could at least try to get in the NBA?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind I'd rather be in the NBA than the PLL. It's just a risky jump, but if he's number one in the country at Loyola, then it's not that risky, I guess. Yeah,
because, I mean, it's the equivalent of what we were talking about with who's the quarterback that could have been a baseball player? My brain is empty.
Help. Kyler Murray.
Thank you. Jesus. It's the equivalent of Kyler Murray, right? Like,
yeah,
NBA, like, nothing super terrible could really happen to him. I mean, he couldn't go then play lacrosse if he's not any good at basketball.
Yeah, agreed. Take a shot at the one that doesn't have the longevity. Like, right. You can always try to back and play lacrosse. You won't have a shot at the NBA more than once.
Right. I mean, now the lacrosse guys would attempt to beat the crap out of him every game as like a don't ever leave lacrosse, but
I don't know much about lacrosse guys, man.
They're like hockey players, but broier.
Ugh.
Yeah. Well,
that's
no.
Gross.
Let me reverse that. Let me put down my own kind here. We're broier. Lacrosse guys are like the stoners of the sports world.
Ah, that makes sense then.
Like Fish would play lacrosse. Probably be really good at it too.
One of the better athletes I know, man, so I don't doubt it.
All right. I just wanted to bring Pat Spencer to your attention.
No, that's awesome. I'm going to dig more into that story.
And finally, your boy, Jon Moxley, is now the new AEW champion.
Which I think he deserves. And you and Greg had a conversation a little while back how he doesn't he's not I think the word was good, but I don't know if that's exactly it. Not a good headliner, but you can't stop watching him. Right. I love the dude. I think he's an amazing talent on camera. He makes me want to watch wrestling. I enjoyed the Lunatic Fringe a little bit, but him on the Shield was just insane. So the fact that he finally gets to create his own character and go that route, I love it. So I'm glad they finally got him a title.
The match itself was good, not great. Yeah. It was very reminiscent of Jericho Kenny in New Japan. But at the end of the day, what it was that he had been playing possum. We believed that he had lost vision in his eye because Jericho stabbed his eye. And he was wearing an eye patch and camo pants and looked very much like Solid Snake. Everybody was about it. And so, mid-match, Jericho, pokes his other eye out, and then he, reveals that he can see out the other eye. He, takes the eye patch off, and, wow. There was, blood dripping out. It was great. Delivers the paradigm shift, and next thing you know, it's new champ.
Yeah.
Now, he did get laid to waste on Wednesday on Dynamite. The entire Inner Circle threw him off the edge of the stage. They're also now doing a thing, Derek, the Inner Circle's, shield moment, okay. Right? Is that, one of them sticks a middle finger out, and then they all stick middle fingers out. So that's just good quality wrestling.
Yeah. Nice family television.
Right. But I wonder how long Mox keeps the belt.
Why is that?
Well, so Jericho had it for almost a year.
Okay.
And it kind of feels like the belt might get passed around a little bit now because
Okay. That makes
Jericho
sense.
was the first guy that like, okay, this is the guy that deserves it. This is the guy that can help us get this company to that first platform we want to get to. But guys like Darby Allin, Pac, Hangman are all really starting to pick up steam.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, Mox doesn't need the belt.
Yeah, that's true. I'm just impressed that the league is still awesome.
Yeah. It outlasted the XFL. Let's say that in interest.
Yeah, it got, well, the XFL didn't get two of the bigger, three of the bigger names in wrestling.
Right.
I mean, Omega alone is insane that they got him, and then you added Moxley and you add in guys. Trying to think of, I mean, obviously Jericho's a big one, but like even just having Cody Rhodes such in there, like his American Nightmare thing really isn't. I don't know. I think it's weird. The Nightmare family or whatever.
Did you see he got that logo tattooed on his neck?
Yeah, Greg told me that. He was like, he thought it was fake when he saw it.
We all did. We were all like, oh, that's paint. And then like they did a close up of it, and like I was like, nope, that's real. And then everyone's like, no. Everyone in the room also has tattoos, so I don't know what the hell they were looking at. But I was like, that's a tattoo, and oh man. For somebody that only has one other tattoo in Cody Rhodes, like your next one going on your neck is a bold choice, bro.
Hey man, it's a ticket seller.
No, it's not.
I think it's
dumb.
Is Jack Hager Jack Swagger?
Jake Hagar is Jack Swagger, yes.
Or Jake, yeah, okay. Yeah, that's weird. He's in like a polo on their website.
Yeah.
Whatever. He was okay.
But he doesn't say anything. So he doesn't talk. So
Why?
like, because it's hilarious. Like they were doing this fake documentary about Jericho being the youngest AEW champion ever before he lost the belt.
Yeah.
And like they would cut to Jake Hagar, like he's supposed to say something like as an interview, and he was just like quiet. And they like left it on him for like, I don't know, good 45 seconds of him not saying anything. And then it would cut away to somebody else like, Chris Jericho's just the greatest guy, blah, blah, blah. Back to Hager. Nothing. Like,
interesting.
It was really good.
That's so weird, but I like it.
Wow. AEW
Jets defensive lineman Quinnen Williams was arrested and charged at LaGuardia Airport for criminal possession of a weapon. Police say Queens DA will handle the matter after he's processed. Williams does have an Alabama permit for a Glock 19 pistol. So that happened last night, just to throw that in there. Interesting.
Whatever NFL team successfully babysits their players will be the best NFL team ever. And maybe that's exactly why the Patriots are as good as they are.
Yep. They say, here is your book. Do nothing that is not in this book.
And if you do, you're freaking gone.
Yep. I'm interested now that I'm on AEW that there's a tag team called Jurassic Express.
Yeah. So Luchasaurus has a master's degree.
In what?
English.
Okay.
That's how he can speak English, Derek. Duh.
Hold on. So he's a dinosaur.
He's a dinosaur, yes.
With a master's degree in English.
Yes, he's a very smart dinosaur.
I take back what I said about AEW. That is so freaking terribly weird.
They're one of the most over tag teams in the entire division.
That is too weird for me, man.
What if I told you that he had a boy?
Jungle Boy?
Is Jungle Jack Perry, who rides him. But actually, Jungle Boy also has a boy, and his name is Marco Stunt.
Okay, Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus Rex, whatever, they look like they deserve to be on the Jurassic Express. What is Marco Stunt, Mr. Fun Size, doing on the Jurassic Express?
Well, you see, Jericho was picking on Marco's stunt, and Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy Jack Perry came to his aid. So now they're all friends. There's also a guy, Orange Cassidy, who wrestles with his hands in his pockets.
Maybe I don't know.
That match was the best show, or the best one at Revolution. Was Pac.
Okay, who is the dude that wrestles with his hands in his pants?
Orange Cassidy.
Okay, so I saw a dude wrestling with his hands in his pants, and I didn't really think. I thought it was just a one-time gimmick. He does that all the time. Why?
Because he doesn't try. He's lazy.
God, that takes so much more effort.
Right.
I understand the thought process, but man, the effort.
In the pre-match promo, they're like, his tag team partner's like, you know what's going to be different at Revolution? He's going to try. And then the other one interrupts, the crowd pops. And then the other one's like, we don't actually know if he's going to try. And then it hard cuts to Orange Cassidy, and he can't even give a good thumbs up. This is his thumbs up.
Oh, my God.
So he just, slowly raises the thumb up. How frustrating would it be as a professional wrestler? You're out there, you're getting cut open. You're diving off of ladders. You're beating your body to death. And this asshole goes like this and puts his hands in his pockets and gets the biggest pop of the night.
I've seen it because
frustrating thing ever.
He had to jump off his back and get up because he won't use his hands, and it's that's just so much more effort. I would hate him.
We need to actually. I know exactly when I want to show you this match. Post whatever we're doing for St. Paddy's Day. Then once you're nice and drunk, I'm going to show you that match because you will scream with laughter. It is so awesome.
This league is weird. Why is there a guy called the Librarian?
Yeah. Shh.
Yeah, he's 0-4 in 2020, and he's 0-10 in his career. This is terrible. Not a fan of that or this.
What if I told you that there was a woman playing the same character at the same time on the same show? There's 2 librarians.
Who's the chick?
Lita Bates.
Queen? I'm looking at the...
No. Leva Bates.
Leva, okay. I don't think she's on the website.
Maybe she left.
Oh, no, never mind. I got it. All right. Okay, there's the bunny, too. The Butcher, the Blade, and the bunny's a weird little...
Yeah, it's literally like BDSM. But the Butcher... Or no, the Blade. Nope, the Butcher. Nope, the Blade. One of them, the bigger one, Andy Williams, is the guitar player for Every Time I Die.
Huh. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, maybe I don't know anything about them.
You know the big names, and that's what's important, because that'll get you in the door, and then you'll stay for the Lucha Express and Orange Cassidy and all those guys.
Golden Boy is one of the announcers?
Mm-hmm. There's also an announcer, Excalibur, who does the entire show in a luchador mask, much like Andy Darling used to do. That's
actually cool. But Golden Boy is a Fortnite streamcaster as well.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
They're very tight with the video game community.
Smart.
They had, well, first off, Kenny Omega's new shirt says video game music is music.
Naturally.
And then every year at, what is it? It's not E20, but it's, you know what I'm talking about?
I think so.
It's in Florida.
Not Guardian Con.
No, I can't remember. But they do, so like every year now they hold a pay-per-view at that event.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So it's the smallest house on their schedule that year too. So like
good for AEW.
It's a super intimate thing, and like it's been kind of cool because obviously there's big crossover in that audience, but you know.
Yeah, agreed. Cool. All right, I'll give it a shot.
All right. Do we have plans for St. Patty's?
No, I have no clue.
Okay.
But get your St. Patty's Day merch at tftbstore.com.
Imagine that I now have cut in a screen recording of all the St. Patty's Day merch. Oh, look at that cool green hoodie there.
Merch.
Oh, man, look at this hat. Oh,
merch.
Taste the alcohol. I love it. Or was it taste the
merch.
booze? Is that what the line is?
Yes. Get drunk.
Okay. All right. That's all I got.
Me too. Thank you guys for watching Morning Thoughts.